firmly locked. These pictures are ugly. The door looks really solid. This seems to be the way to the forest behind the house. That could work, but the fittings are screwed on. The fittings are screwed on. Night has arrived. That's all I needed. The picture looks even weirder in the dark. No, not a chance. That's the I should think up something else. That's the canvas I detached from the picture. That won't get me any further. What was that? God! Somebody's screaming out there in the forest. No, I would only scratch everything. No way. Can't do anything without the key. Here we are, the key. It would have surprised me if it had worked like that. Can't do anything without the key. Can't do it. This door looks really solid. A door? No idea where it leads to. It's locked. It doesn't fit here. It's locked. It's locked. It's locked. It's locked. A suit of armor. Late Middle Ages. Not that I'd know that. It's engraved on the stone plate below. There's more. Suit of armour of the Honourable Lord Sinclair, 1473. 1473? Sinclair's family tradition seems to go back a long way. I have to find the back door to get to the forest where the screams came from. The dinner table is laid for a dinner for 6 people. Hey, what the...
Well, Mr. Halligan, I don't believe I have introduced you to the gentlemen of my club yet. This is General Myers of the British Army. Next to him is Bishop Stevenson. The Earl of Sutcliffe, one of the Queen's closest advisors. And the gentleman sitting beside you is Mr. Smothers of the Worldwide Foods Corporation. I'm sure you're curious to learn what our club is all about. But I would suggest you have a bite to eat first. You look pale. You see, Mr. Halligan, you must know we have been following your investigations into these, shall we say, deaths in London for some time. I expect your experience in the park will have convinced you that we are, to a certain degree, responsible for these incidents. As you may have noticed, the meat we are eating at this meal has a rather unique flavor. It is human flesh, Mr. Halligan. This flesh is the source of life force. Grants us strength and power. You will soon discover the incomparable feeling of power for yourself. It will be grander than any feeling you have ever felt. Very soon now, when the day of the ritual's completion has come, our power will be perfect. Then it will be time for the curse that will put an end to the wretched hustle and bustle of this world and make room for something grand and new, a world ruled by druids. I must admit your investigations had us worried for a moment, Mr. Halligan. We had even made plans to put a stop to them by arranging a little extra. But you are a very lucky man. You will witness the great day yourself, and you will be there on the right side. For by eating this flesh, you have become one of us. Welcome to the circle, Mr. Halligan.
It's locked. A huge villa.
Yes? Hello?
Hello? Is this Lord Sinclair?
No, miss, I am sorry. I am Lord Sinclair's butler.
I'd like to talk to Lord Sinclair.
On what matter, miss?
I'm looking for a detective from Scotland Yard.
You are looking for a detective? Miss, in that case, I would recommend you to contact Scotland Yard. This is the house of Lord Sinclair, which is not difficult to see.
I thought the detective might be here.
No, I am sorry. A Detective Halligan has not been here.
Could I talk to Lord Sinclair, please?
I am sorry, miss, but his lordship is not here.
I see.
Have a good day, miss.
Ow! There are some stones here.
What was that?
Let's have a look. Nothing to be seen.
Yeah, must have been a bird or something.
Oh no! Where am I now? This is like being in a ghost train. That must be Lord Sinclair's study. A pentagram. A druid's foot would suit Lord Sinclair better. Voila! Open. This is the amulet of transformation Mr. Blake talked about. It seems to be really important for Lord Sinclair. Mr. Halligan! God, what a relief! Oh, what was that for? Have you gone mad? What's wrong, Brent? Why are you hitting me?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Oh, God, stop it! What's the matter with you? Don't you recognize me? Brent, stop it! Brent, you bloody idiot!
Oh. What happened?
Brent, is that you? Do you recognize me?
Of course I recognize you. Bloody hell, what's going on? Oh my God, I'm feeling sick. Everything's spinning.
I had to hit you over the head. You were acting like a madman.
Wait, I just have to get it together for a moment. Oh, Melanie, you can't imagine what I've gone through here. What happened?
You threatened me. You tried to kill me.
I did what?
You tried to kill me, Brent. You hit me. Don't ever do that again. Do you understand?
Melanie, I didn't know what I was doing. I can't even remember hitting you.
Oh, God, Brent. What's this Sinclair done to you?
How did you get here anyway? Have you been here long?
I got your message. Can't you remember? I thought you might need help out here.
Oh, right. The copy.
I had a look around the room, Brent, and I found the amulet Mr. Blake mentioned on the phone.
Where?
It was in Sinclair's safe, together with a parchment.
So Sinclair had it. I'm sure Mr. Blake will be interested in that.
But now, tell me what's been happening here, Brent. What's Sinclair up to?
Melanie, I saw how this Lord Sinclair killed somebody.
What? When did you see that? And where?
Last night, here on the estate. Sinclair caught me immediately after my arrival and had me locked up. I could hear screams when I was in that room. Horrible screams. I escaped and ran outside to the forest behind the estate. And there I saw it.
What did you see?
Sinclair and some other men. They wore habits, and they were just about to cut a living human being into pieces with a sickle.
That can't be true.
I saw it with my own eyes, Melanie. It was horrible.
Oh, God. And what happened to you? Why didn't you recognize me?
It must have had something to do with the food.
What food?
Sinclair and his friends invited me to their dinner. The food did something to me. Anyway, Sinclair had no compunction in telling me all about the Circle and about their future plans over dinner. The Circle wants to complete the ritual and to put a curse on the world which will make us all their slaves.
That's nonsense.
No, Melanie. You've seen what these people did to me. They're mad. And they are serious. I'm sure about that now.
What's going on in there? Open the door! Open it at once!
The guards, Brent. They're at the door. We have to leave.
Open the door! Jack, get the key!
Yeah, Melanie, I think you're right. We really should get out of here. And we should do it now. We made it.
Yes, thank God. I couldn't have taken it in that house even a second longer.
Everything all right with you?
Yes, I'm a bit out of breath. And you, Brent?
My head is still throbbing a bit, but apart from that, I'm okay. We have to go, Melanie. Now.
Where?
To Mr. Blake. If anybody can tell us something about the incidents in this house, he can.
Okay, let's move.
Mr. Blake, I'm glad you're here. There's a lot we need to tell you. We've experienced something simply incredible.
Calm down, Mr. Halligan. Let's discuss it all in peace and quiet. Well, perhaps you'd like to introduce me to the young lady?
Oh, of course. I almost forgot in all this excitement. Mr. Blake, This is Dr. Melanie Turner from the Anthropological Museum in Oxford.
Oh, yes, of course. We spoke on the telephone.
That's right. Pleased to meet you at long last, Mr. Blake.
Now, what's been happening? Have you found out any more about the circle?
Any more? It's a nightmare, Mr. Blake.
Go on.
Mr. Blake, we found the amulet you were talking about. The amulet of transformation.
You found it? My God. Show me. Yes, that's it. Where was it?
In a hidden safe. In the office of the leader of this ominous circle. There was a parchment with it, with completely illegible signs on it. Here, take a look. Do they make any sense to you?
They're very unusual runes. I'll have to take a look at this in peace. Go on with your story. You were saying you know who's leading the circle? Who is it?
The circle is led by an aristocrat called Lord Sinclair.
Lord Sinclair. Never heard of him. How did you find out?
Research. Scotland Yard observed the group for a while. There was an entry in the database, so I drove out to his place. It's a pretty pretentious estate on Winchester Street.
You drove out there all by yourself?
Yes,
That was rather careless of you, Mr. Halligan.
you can say that again. He'd obviously been expecting me and had me locked up at once.
What happened next?
I witnessed a murder taking place.
Murder? On Sinclair's estate?
Yes, I saw them cutting the flesh from a human body. A live body.
With a sickle?
Yes.
I knew it. What you witnessed was a ritual for the transferal of life force. Were you seen?
I passed out. When I came to, I was sitting at a late table with Sinclair and 4 other men.
Was there food on the table?
Yes, meat.
You didn't eat any, surely.
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
I know. It was the victim's flesh, wasn't it?
Yes. You have taken part in this, Mr. Halligan. How on earth did you manage to get away?
Miss Turner got me out. If it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't be here now.
You're a brave woman, Miss Turner.
What do we do now?
Why don't we just send a police contingent round there? You're a detective, Mr. Halligan, and Lord Sinclair is a murderer.
There won't be anything to find by the time they get there. Sinclair and his friends are no fools. They'll proceed as they've done in all the other cases. They'll just dump the bones somewhere to save the police hunting high and low for a corpse. Scotland Yard will file it away. End of case.
Have you found out yet what stopped the completion of the ritual 1,000 years ago?
I've deciphered the text a little further, but some of the signs are just completely unknown to me.
I thought you said the amulet was important to the ritual.
Yes, that's what the inscription says.
Yeah, but then everything's all right now. After all, I've got it. Let's just melt it down, then this nightmare will be over.
Mr. Halligan, you're forgetting the ritual has already taken place 1,000 years ago. It just didn't reach perfection. Only part of the power was transferred to the infants. The inheritors are now trying to complete their ritual.
But if this amulet means so much to Sinclair, surely it must be needed for the perfection.
I'm not so sure about that. Sinclair may be interested in it for some other reason.
What makes you think that?
The title written on the parchment you gave me.
What does the parchment's title say?
Unless I'm very much mistaken, the text refers to a place known as 12 Bridges.
What kind of place is that?
12 Bridges is an abandoned complex near Glastonbury. The bridges are in great danger of collapsing. Ancient Celtic myths refer to the place as the Gate of the Worlds.
Gate of the Worlds? What's that supposed to be?
You know, Mr. Halligan, the Celts did not regard reality and time as insurmountable facts. On the contrary, they regarded them as illusions, which man's laziness and ignorance made him incapable of overcoming. Celtic shrines were always special places that allowed them to leave the normality of everyday reality. Celtic myths claim that 12 Bridges has been a consecrated site for millennia, a place where the body can step over into another time.
You mean 12 bridges is the gate to a journey through time?
According to the legend, yes.
But nothing's ever been reported of such a journey.
Well, that doesn't make it impossible, does it? The place has not been closely examined so far. It's too dilapidated. Just entering the place is taking a very serious risk. Anyway, nobody really believes in time travel anymore these days.
Why would Sinclair keep a parchment about that place in his safe?
You see, Mr. Halligan, that's what I've been wondering. If Sinclair knows the place and keeps a parchment about it hidden in his safe, wouldn't it be conceivable that journeys through time really are possible from 12 bridges?
You mean he wants to travel back in time?
Well, he'd certainly be doing his best to make sure nobody else made that journey. Maybe Sinclair wants to prevent anyone from traveling back in time and disturbing the ritual.
Why would anyone do that? And why would Sinclair be so concerned about it?
It's easy. No ritual, no inheritors. No inheritors.
No Lord Sinclair. I see.
Of course, these are just speculations. As I said, Mr. Halligan, we need the book from the library. I should be able to tell you more when I've translated the parchment.
Why do they call the place 12 Bridges?
It's a very strange arrangement of 12 stone bridges. No one knows why they were built that way. They probably weren't the first thing that was erected there anyway. The current bridge array dates from the early Middle Ages. If, as I suspect, that place has been a Celtic shrine for centuries, there are bound to have been other structures there at some point.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. I'll see what I can make of it.
Good. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to call on me anytime you like.
Hello, Mr. Blake. Hello, Melanie.
Hello, Brent. How could you just leave like that?
There was something I needed to see to.
I have quite a few things to see to as well. Shouldn't we discuss with Mr. Blake what's to be done next?
Yes, Mr. Halligan. We have no time to lose.
All right. Mr. Blake, I have just one more question. I'd rather discuss it all later. Hello, Mr. Blake. Hello, Melanie.
Hello, Brent. How could you just leave like that?
There was something I needed to see to.
I have quite a few things to see to as well. Shouldn't we discuss with Mr. Blake what's to be done next?
Yes, Mr. Halligan. We have no time to lose.
All right. Mr. Blake, I have just one more question. I thought you said the amulet was important to the ritual.
Yes, that's what the inscription says.
But then everything's all right now. After all, I've got it. Let's just melt it down, then this nightmare will be over.
Mr. Halligan, you're forgetting the ritual has already taken place 1,000 years ago. It just didn't reach perfection. Only part of the power was transferred to the infants. The inheritors are now trying to complete their ritual.
But if this amulet means so much to Sinclair, surely it must be needed for the perfection.
I'm not so sure about that. Sinclair may be interested in it for some other reason.
What makes you think that?
The title written on the parchment you gave me.
Can you read what the parchment says?
The signs resemble those on the inscription I'm working on, but I'm just not getting anywhere with it. All I've been able to make out of the parchment so far is the title. I need a special book to continue. The Celtic Orthographic System. by Scott M. Winfield. Oxford University Library should have it. Mr. Halligan, please get me a copy of that book. I believe the translation of this parchment is the key to Lord Sinclair's intentions.
Thank you, Mr. Blake. We'll see what we can make of this.
We're much obliged, Mr. Blake.
I wish you both the best of luck. Take care of yourselves, and come back to see me soon.
This thing is getting more and more mysterious. I can't believe what Mr. Blake said.
We have to find out why this amulet is so important to Sinclair. Perhaps Mr. Blake is right, and the amulet is the key to preventing the ritual. I expect we'll know more as soon as the translation of the parchment is finished. I have to go to Oxford, Melanie. I have to get the book for Mr. Blake.
Yes, of course. That's fine by me. I really need to check a few things at home. Where shall we meet later?
I'll get in touch with you as soon as I have any news. Okay?
All right. I'll be off then.
Okay, Melanie. See you later. Excuse me, I'm looking for a book.
Oh, how nice for you.
Quite. Do you think you could help me?
Help you? Why?
Because the book I'm looking for is a rare one.
We may not even have it then. Who knows? Was there anything else, young man?
You don't seem to understand. I'm asking you to be good enough to assist me. I don't have much time, so if you would be so kind...
I'm not being paid for being kind, or for helping you.
All right. All I want to know is where I might find the Celtic orthographic system.
I can't say. With all these books, you surely can't expect me to know off by heart where they all are.
How many books are there in here?
About 543,000, the magazines included.
Great. And I've got to look through them all?
Is this the first time you've been to a library?
No, of course not.
Have you tried the computer yet?
Actually, I'm no expert on computers.
That, I'm afraid, is not my problem. We have special courses that teach people how to use the computer.
When do they take place?
At the beginning of every semester.
But I can't possibly wait that long. I've come here all the way from London.
In that case, I suggest you make the most of your stay here and teach yourself how to use the computer.
I'll see what I can do by myself, then.
You do that.
That's the printout of the database information on the circle. Lord Sinclair's address is on it as well. 234 Winchester Street. The cataloging computer. Excuse me, sir.
Hmm?
I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Hmm.
What are you doing?
Eh? Studying. Can't you see?
How odd. That's just what I was planning to do.
Oh, yes? Well, then go ahead.
You're occupying the computer. I can't study anything here.
What? Oh, just a sec.
Of course, no problem. Take your time.
Very kind, my young friend. That's what I call patience in the service of science. A rare virtue these days.
Thanks for nothing.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my dear friend. Now, if you'd be so kind, you know. Thank you.
All right then, Professor. I've got work to do.
Good. Make yourself useful. Carpe diem, I always say.
Professor Hastings, what are you doing?
Who? Me? Nothing. I must be off to my car. My alarm just went off.
Professor, what's that book you're carrying?
Book? I don't have a book. Please don't joke now, Mrs. Owen. I have to see to my car.
What's this then?
But how the devil? That's impossible. I didn't take this book.
Then how did it get there?
There must be some mistake. A very regrettable mistake, Mrs. Owen. I assure you.
I like your nerve, Professor Hastings. You steal a book and then try to deny the whole thing ever happened. I'm very disappointed in you.
Mrs. Owen, you've known me for 20 years now. You ought to know that I'd never...
All I know is that I'm going to have to put this on record. Please come along over here to the issuing counter, Professor. You will have to fill in a form.
The cover of this history book is a perfect fit for the book I want to borrow. Right, I've finished here. I found a different book that interests me. I assume you'll let me borrow this one.
We'll see. What have we here? Let me see. Oh, the Roman monetary system and fiscal policies. Yes, you may borrow this one. And just think, I've actually read this one. What a coincidence. A brilliant piece of work. Very vivid and never gets boring. You know, I wanted to be a historian, and Roman coins were my special field. But then I met my husband here at the university. He was working on his doctoral thesis at the time, and, well, you know how it is. I could discuss Roman coins for hours.
Madam? This is all highly interesting, but I do really want to borrow this book.
Oh, yes, of course. Forgive me. Here you go.
Thank you for the book and your great help.
Oh, I do hope you're not angry with me. If there's any way I can help you, please, don't hesitate to tell me.
Not for the moment, thank you. I really must be off now.
Naturally, naturally. See you soon.
See you soon. Here you are. Here's the book you asked for.
Ah, yes. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Halligan. Well, did you have any difficulties with Mrs. Owen at the issuing counter?
None I couldn't handle.
Good. I'll get to work at once. Oh, by the way, Mr. Halligan, Miss Turner called about an hour ago. She's worried about you because you haven't been in touch for such a long time.
Did she say that?
Yes. She said she needs to speak to you urgently.
Do you mind if I use your phone?
No need. I asked her to come out here and join me. She should be arriving any minute now.
How long will the translation take?
Oh, not long, I hope. The book will be a great help. You'd better just wait here for a moment.
I'll just take a look around then, if you don't mind.
Of course not. Be my guest.
Mr. Halligan, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you.
I'm touched at your concern.
Now, don't go imagining things. After all that's happened, it's only natural that I should be worried about you. And Mr. Blake.
Well, I had to get Mr. Blake this book.
That took rather a long time. I've been phoning around asking for you.
You've been trying to get hold of me?
Yes. I also went to Scotland Yard and spoke to your chief. He's a bit cross with you.
Cross with me? Why? What have I done now?
Lord Sinclair's planning to bring charges against you for burglary.
What? I don't believe it. That old devil Sinclair seems to feel he's pretty safe, doesn't he?
It looks that way. It seems he has very influential friends in the police force. Whatever, your chief asked me to tell you that you're suspended. Effective immediately. Oh, and the next time you come to the office, he expects you to give him a comprehensive report in writing.
What? can't be serious. Don't tell me he's handing the case back to that thick-headed, big-mouthed Lowry.
I wouldn't know. All he said was that he expects you to hand the file to him as soon as you get back to the yard.
I certainly will not. This business is just too important to let go. I don't care what the chief says. I'm going to carry this case through on my own. What's going on out there?
What is it? What's happening?
Leave me! Get out of the danger zone! Here, take the parchment and go!
Come along, Mr. Blake. Let's get out of here.
You get out of here. I'll follow you.
Get out of here! Quickly, run!
I believe you have something of mine, Mr. Halligan. I shall give you until sunset to give my property back to me.
Oh, God! Mr. Blake! I have to go back and get him out of there.
Are you crazy? Don't go. It's pointless. You can't help him anymore. He's dead.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, my God, what an inferno. Let's get out of here, Melanie. Otherwise, we'll be next.
Where can we go? To Scotland Yard?
No, that's not a good idea. The chief inspector's waiting for me there. We'd only lose time. And Sinclair is getting more and more powerful with each new murder.
So what can we do?
You heard what Mr. Blake said. Sinclair has the power to complete the ritual. No matter what we do, for the time being, nobody can stop him.
Then we're lost.
No, Melanie. We have one chance left.
What do you mean?
We have to go to 12 bridges. We have to try to move the gate of the worlds. If we want to stop Sinclair, we have to stop those who gave him his power 1,000 years ago.
You believe in that Gate of the Worlds thing? It's just a myth, a fairy tale.
The question is not whether I believe in it, Melanie. The question is whether we have any other options.
You're right. Come on, then.
This place is just incredible,
Yes. It's beautiful.
but also rather ramshackle, just like Mr. Blake told us. Okay, let's have a look around.